Okay, here we go.
Okay, so hello everyone. This is Mo from Educast International, and I'd like to welcome all of you to our event, Elevate Your Teaching Practice 2023, which is hosted by Educast International and sponsored by Syntax Solutions in the Netherlands, Text Inspector, Delta Bookstore, and Fluent Times. So today we have a wonderful guest as usual, and we're joined by different people from different countries. Because again, in EduCast, we're offering opportunities, we share knowledge with people all around the world. So let me first introduce or welcome the educational consultant at EduCast International, Dr. Ron Rain, who is joining us from Germany. Hello, Dr. Ron, how are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mo. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello,
All of
hello,
our
Ron.
guests. Yeah. It was a wonderful, beautiful sunny day here in Germany. And it was nice to get out, get some fresh air. And today was my first day back at work.
Actually, it was a burning hot day in Egypt here. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah. Anyway, of course, we're joined by Nairi from Canada, and people from different countries. I can see lots of familiar from Germany and also from Egypt. And this leads us to today's speaker, Dr. Muhammad Amir. How are you doing?
Hello, Mo. How's everything? Long
Everything is
time to
good, thank
see.
you. Yeah, everything
Thank you.
is yeah, thank you. Yeah, actually we met
Finally, we meet.
at the Nile TISO conference. Yeah, last January. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Nice diesel. Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. So today, Dr. Muhammad is going to tell us all about something related to artificial intelligence in relation to interpretation, right? Interpretation. So,
Exactly. But
yeah, sure.
sure, but that's not limited to interpretation. It's also about translation and teaching as well. So the title can be tricky somehow, but it really involves teachers of EFL and also translation. So it's all over there.
Yeah, that's right. Great. So everyone, Dr. Muhammad is a teacher of specialized translation and interpreting at Cairo University. He's the coordinator of international relations and conferences at the Accountability State Authority. He's ETLA certified translator, and he is Interprefy approved simultaneous and conference interpreter, curriculum developer with multiple regional agencies. So, welcome, Dr. Muhammad, and I think you have the sharing. Um, yeah, you can share the screen, of course, yes, because
Yeah,
your screen is on. Yeah, that's right.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
shared.
yeah. Once
Never
again,
mind, bro.
please do.
We've been fasting all the day, so I can see it.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Thank you so much, bro, for introducing me, and thank you so much for introduction. And for those who wants to contact with me, these are my contact details, my email address, my WhatsApp number, and my LinkedIn account. I believe the session is recorded, so after that you can rewatch the recording to get my information out. Right, if you want to contact me anytime. Of course, you're welcome to. So when I asked my friend Nabil about giving a presentation or a webinar, speaking in a webinar through Educast, I thought about a subject matter that would be very interesting to my own profession as a translator and interpreter, and also to teachers of EFL, translation, interpreting, English as a second language, whatever. So I thought about technology because it all rules us nowadays concerning ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, modern technology, technological needs, and the new requirements, and also the equipment that we need to boost our own profession. So when I decided to do this, I focused mainly on using or boosting our technological means in teaching. But first, let's talk about the agenda that we're going to discuss today. We're going to start with the technological block that a teacher can suffer from, or the challenges that may face them on in the road or on the path to teaching English or translation or interpreting. So what stops you from being a tech savvy teacher? If you are a tech dummy teacher, you're going to be a tech savvy teacher if you're going to fulfill or to satisfy these requirements very well. So after that, we're going to move to talking about technology for teachers using Google Translate, using ChatGPT, and we're going to talk about Google a lot today because it's infamous, especially here in the Middle East and in particular Egypt, because I'm teaching translation and interpretation in the university, and we see a lot of professors and teachers who always say do not use Google Translate. But is this true? Is this right? We don't know. Today or tonight, we're going to know what happens in Google Translate. Moving towards artificial intelligence apps, and I have some suggestions concerning applications, whether on your mobile phones or your desktop or your PC, it doesn't matter. So you need to roll up your sleeves. It's already happening because you have these applications for free, and most of them are for free. To be honest, but a lot of these are very useful. Finally, we're going to talk about some teaching packages through the use of technologies. So you need to forget or flush the conventional way of teaching those subject matters and get ready for the new way of teaching. So let's first talk about some technological problems, or what stops you from being a tech savvy teacher, whether teaching English, translation, interpretation, it doesn't matter. So number one, you may lack some technological awareness. So you do not have the minimum technological requirements. You only have a computer, a mobile phone, and that's it. So you do not have the enough technological means. And I'm not talking about being so paying so much money on technology, purchasing or buying applications, expensive applications. I'm not talking about this, but I'm talking about how to use technology in your teaching process. This is very important. So there's a big difference between using technology and paying for technology. You can also see that they both can get in the same way, but we really need to do this together and understand how to use technology, but in an affordable way. Sometimes we use only conventional teaching methodologies. You can also resort to conventional teaching methodologies in your classrooms, teaching English, translation and interpretation. And from my spot, from my place here, when I work in a university, I see myself in the beginning of my work, like 10 years ago, I used to give a passage that is written in Arabic. I give it to the student. He translated it into English, and then he gets back to me with the translation, and then I give him the feedback. This is the conventional way of teaching translation. But in interpreting, it's way different because conventionally we use to bring some videos from YouTube or from other resources. So I download the videos, I show it to the students. They translate it consecutively, simultaneously, doesn't matter, according to the subject that we are teaching, and I give them the feedback. This is the conventional way of teaching translation and interpretation. But you can see it can be good in some circumstances, but with the emergence of artificial intelligence and new technologies, I think we're wasting our time with the conventional and old way of teaching these special subject matter, especially with the emergence of ChatGPT, with a lot of applications, Interprefy, Applio, and Kudo, and everything. So we have a lot of applications to use in order to boost your ability to teach and to interpret, translate in the same time. Finally, we can also flush the old way of the paper-based teaching. And again, speaking from my spot as a teacher of interpretation, we use a lot of paper books. And every single semester, in the beginning of the semester, I'm asked to provide a book that's full of translation texts, or even information about interpreting and interpreting skills, and it's distributed among students. They pay for them, and throughout the semester they keep memorizing, they keep reading and summarizing these books, and they have the exam or the graduation project, and after that they can, okay, they don't sell them, they can just throw them away. So this is the old conventional way of using a lot of paper, using a lot of ink in order to teach and also to learn about English and translation and interpretation. So this is the main problem that we have here in teaching these subject matters, specialized linguistics and applied linguistics. So is it all about money? Is it because technology is expensive? Yeah, it's pretty expensive. Some applications are very expensive. You can see a lot of them online. You can easily download them, but in order to get all the features of such applications, you need to pay money. So not all teachers are capable to afford this. Okay, so is it money a little surprise? Yeah, it's pretty important. So you need to pay some money in order to get the full features of some applications. Number two, is it your mentality as a teacher of interpretation or translation? So you need to change the way you think about your own semester, your own subject matter. So you are assigned by the university, by the school, by any institution to teach a subject matter. You need to know that you have to integrate technology into this, because this is going to make it much easier to you to the students, to the educational process itself. So integrating technology is very important, and it's not only important, it's pivotal to the educational process. So it's all about your mentality again, in order to make it much easier to you and for the interest of your students. Is it about locale? Yeah, I totally believe this, because a comfortable workspace is a must in order to showcase how capable you are to master your own class. So if you have a lot of noise background, if you have a lot of if you have a mainly uncomfortable workspace, you will not be able to provide interpretation, because it mainly depends on how to listen, how to speak, positive listening, negative listening, speaking all the time, consecutively, simultaneously. So your locale is also a main factor that affects positively and negatively affecting the process itself. And finally, is it how to teach? Is it how to teach translation and interpretation? Because the Egyptian or the Arab library and teaching translation and interpretation as very weak, especially in translation and interpretation, because we have a lot of books concerning teaching English as a foreign language or as a second language, but we do not have a lot of resources on how to teach interpretation and translation in the first place. So imagine yourself trying to teach something like that without resources. So technology is a must again in order to develop your skills, because you do not have the essentials of teaching these subject matters. And we have here a quotation by Hedias Jacobs, who says, teachers need to integrate technology seamlessly into the curriculum instead of viewing it as an add-on, an afterthought, or an event, which is very important, because we all talk about technology as an addition, as an asset to the education process, but it's not like that. It's not anymore like that. We need to deal with technology as a core in itself. So it's very important to flush the ideas of adding and integrating technology to our educational process, or to the material itself, because um, a lot of people think that technology can use technology and downloading, uploading some material on Moodle or on some platforms, but this is not enough to a teacher to teach certain applied linguistics subject matters. So this is the idea that I believe in. You need to integrate technology, but not only as an event or as an add-on, but as a core to your subject matter. Okay, let's move to to another point here, which is very important, how to use technology in teaching translating. And I'm here to defend the Google Translate because it's it's pretty infamous here, especially here in Egypt. Because I reiterate this, we have a lot of professors, teachers, and instructors who say never, never, never use or never depend on Google Translate, and they have a lot of my students here. They may be watching me right now, and I never tell them to translate or to depend on Google Translate, because I tell them, yeah, you can depend on Google Translate, but you need to put your own human touch or your own human footprint on this. You need to review and proofread after Google, because by the end of the day, it's a mechanized, it's a machine translation. So it's pretty good, but you need to proofread to provide your translation with a human touch. But is it infamous? Is it infamous anymore? Yeah, it was. I can say it was. So you can put some texts on Google Translate, whether from Arabic into English and from English into Arabic, and I have another idea on this that I'm going to discuss a bit later. But I have an example here. If we got a text, and I believe we have a lot of Egyptian audience here, so we have a text here that's written mainly. This is an original text written by a native person in Arabic. He's from Saudi Arabia. So this is the main text. This is the text put on Google Translate. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines put on Google Translate. We have like 5 sentences, 5 long sentences, and a lot of phrases. So let's try to put this text on Google Translate, and let's compare between your own human translation and the mechanized or the machine translation that we're going to showcase how a machine can translate this. So when I did this, when I tried with Google Translate, I tried my own translation in the beginning. So I compared between my translation and the Google translation. This is a Googleized text. This is the machine translation of the last of the previous text, and we have certain colors here that mainly showcase how a machine translation can be, not talking perfect, but it can be very good. It can be reliable. So when we compare between this English text and the Arabic, we can say الحديث هنا عن فن. So the application itself, or the service added the pronoun we are talking here, because it's not mentioned there in Arabic. But if you're going to provide a human translation, you are supposed to add this. So I believe this is a very good or a very smart act by Google in order to move the structure of the sentence itself forward, in order to provide you with a much better and a more understandable process. So adding this pronoun in the beginning of the sentence is very nice. And if you're going to provide a human translation, this is the only way that you're going to start the sentence with. However, we can see the red spots here, the colors or the words that are in red. You can see that they are totally mistaken. So we are talking about, let's read the text together. We are talking here about an art that enables its owner. So let's talk let's discuss this in Arabic. In Arabic, it says الحديث هنا عن فن يمكن صاحبه. So it really literally translated صاحبه to its owner, but in English, it's not about ownership. It's not about position. It's not about owning something. So you can see this is a way literal translation. So this is a big mistake by Google. Again, so you can see here to them. I'm not talking only to them, but you can see the difference in the pronoun. So it said here it's owner, so it's singular. To them, it's plural. So what happened here is a big mistake in grammar. However, so you can see in Arabic we have two periods here, but in English it added the same 2 periods because it couldn't find a better way, and it couldn't find the better way to move your own structure, to move your own punctuation into the right way. So it's not all about your human translation or the mechanized translation. You need to proofread this because the machine will not understand the importance of punctuation, especially in this point. So you add 2 points, you add two periods in the original text, it will be added. Yeah, it will be added in the target text, which is a big mistake. So let's move to the sentence that's mentioned and or colored in orange, those who are characterized by it. So let's move to the Arabic. يستطيع من يتصف به, which is um, I can see from my experience, it's a too literal translation, but it can be accepted. And if I'm going to check this and giving marks on this, I'll consider it a correct translation. But we have much better styles or registers to use. So this is a correct translation, but it's not a perfect one. Okay, so let's get back here to the next the he one. This he, which is written in red, who he is, because we do not know what that he. فهو يعرف جيدا. So it turned فهو يعرف. So who is that person? We do not know. So we need to provide another pronoun or to mention the subject itself here. So, and finally, with the orange in the last line, those who are characterized by it, again, it's a correct translation. It's the right one, but it can be much better if you are a human translation. And finally, I promise, here are with the two periods in the end after into gain. So because it's mentioned in Arabic, yeah, two periods, it's correct. Kudos, we have a winner. You can see that the rate or the percentage of committing a mistake in Google, if you took this text without human intervention, without a human touch, and give it to your student, give it to a client, to a customer, to anyone, it can be acceptable. It can be understandable because the meaning itself is already there. Some grammatical mistakes, some grammatical no-nos, some meaning needs to be much more delivered or better delivered to the customer or to the client. However, it can be acceptable. Yeah, I can pay money to get a text like this. So Google is no longer infamous as it was in the past. So never be afraid of Google, of using Google. However, and I reiterate this, if you put an English text in Google and you try to translate it on Google into Arabic, the result will be much weaker. So we're talking about weak algorithms in translating into Arabic. So because the Arabic content on Google or on the internet in general is pretty weak. Okay, so we're always talking about translating from English, from Arabic into English, but otherwise on the other way around, it's pretty weak. So we need to move forward to develop the algorithms and translating from English or from other languages into English. Okay, so or into Arabic. Sorry. Okay, so this is about translation. What about interpreting? And I told you in the beginning that I'm approved simultaneous interpreter by Interprofy. Interprofy is a worldwide platform for finding simultaneous consecutive interpreting. So you can download the application and it's for free. The whole service is for free, by the way. It's for free, and you can share it with your own students. You can train them on Interprofy, which is very important. So in a normal, in a conventional interpreting classroom, I used to provide my students upfront with videos. I tell them to, you are assigned to prepare yourself for those videos. You can prepare, you can develop some glossaries, some dictionaries in order to focus on subject matter like economics, politics, or other subjects. But nowadays, we're going to move more into using or integrating technology into our classrooms. So depending on Interprofy, this is the interface of Interprofy, such a wonderful application. Sorry for the bad quality. Yeah, it's a bit blurry here, but this is the interface of Interprofy. Here on the right side, you can see this is a chat between you and the system itself. the system tells you that your voice is clear, your voice is unclear. You can raise your voice, you can lower your voice. You can also chat with your own translator or sorry, interpreting partners if you're going to pass the microphone to them, or they can do the vice versa. So this is the right side. And here we have the left side, we have the conference itself, we have the meeting itself, and you can see here the Bankimon. This is Bankimon, I believe so. And there is an interpreting service that is being provided here throughout this conference. So if you are teaching interpretation online, I'm not talking about a conventional physical a classroom, talking about online. This is the screen you're going to have if you're using a PC or a desktop. But what about your students? You can see a lot of students using mobile phones instead of PCs. So this is the interface of the mobile application, also interpreted. So you can see the right side here, we have the same site, your chat with the system itself or your own partners. We have the volume or the sound system, the sound application. Here we go. And at the left side, we have the video itself if you're going to watch the meeting itself while you are giving translation. So this is very important in order to integrate technology into your classroom teaching interpretation, or especially simultaneous interpretation, consecutive interpretation. Using Interprefy, not only about talking about Interprefy, a lot of applications that are like Interprefy. You can, for example, give them a meeting video upfront, but using the application itself will make it much easier for them to be qualified to provide remote interpreting, and especially with the development of other applications like Zoom, Interaxio, like Microsoft Teams, and other applications. So you can move forward with your own material in order to provide people with a much better experience and a realistic experience and remote interpreting. Now we're going to move forward with some artificial intelligence applications. We have some applications that we can use in order to make our process much easier, or a much better process, much productive process. So take care of this, because we're going to roll up our sleeves. It's already happening. So we have some resources that we can use as teachers in our classrooms, whether they are online or physical. These are mainly because we deal with interpretation. We can focus on video, audio, and because I'm a translator or a teacher of translation, we can also refer back to some text applications. So some examples of video application that mainly focus on artificial intelligence. We have certain names. These are mere examples. So we have dozens of applications like this, but according to my little experience on this, I like these applications. They do not all work here in the Middle East, but we have some. You can use VPN, you can use some alternative applications. So number one is Video.ai, artificial intelligence, and Maverick and Talos. Let's move first to video. Video, which is very important because you can, if you are a teacher of interpretation or a translation, you can easily get some clips. So you can turn some audio clips. You recorded yourself talking about teaching a classroom or talking about subject matter. So you can use your own podcast if you have a podcast, if you have a recording on your computer, to get some video and reels with certain minutes, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So you can turn your own voice, your own audio files into video files, which is very important in teaching process. If you show up yourself, like we're using our camera right now, if I'm not available to do this, we can turn ourselves into artificial intelligence interfaces in order to showcase how capable we are. I'm not here in office, but I can switch it into an avatar or something. So after that, we can edit these clips with some templates. You can add captions, you can add a lot of features in order to showcase your teaching process. After that, you can upload them into YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, or other applications. But um, some of these applications are really expensive. Video is not for free, but you can have a trial of like 30 days to 45 days. And the more you upload videos or reels on video, you can have points, so you can also extend your own free duration. So this is video. You can turn your own audio files into avatars to showcase yourself. You can see yourself as a cartoon or as an avatar if you are not available to teach yourself. Okay, so if you're going to deal with texts, yeah, I'm translating, teaching translation, we have some applications. Quillpot, of course, the famous, the pronoun ChatGPT, and also WordTune. WordTune is the most recent one. But this is the interface of Quillbot. Quillbot, when you see Quillbot, it looks like an Excel file, but it's not. The main idea of Quillbot, which is very, very important, that you can provide it with a sentence of your own creation, or a sentence from anywhere else. So this is a sentence. Look here at the original sentence. There are blue, pink, and purple swirls spinning and twisting like clouds or balloons caught in a whirlwind. Okay, so this is a sentence that's written in English, and you can also have the ability to paraphrase sentences and to guess the sentences that can come before and after that. So only one sentence to be added to the text, you can get a whole message out of it. You can also change some words, like, for example, if you want to change a word like balloons, here the word balloons, you can put your mouse here on balloons. You can click on it, and it can turn into another word, so it gives you much more suggestions. That helps your students with back translation, with a lot of structures, a lot of sentence structures, morphologically, grammatically, and every single aspect of applied linguistics can be taken out of this, especially semiotics. You know, I once had a master's degree in semiotics, and it was back there in 2015. It was like 8 years ago, and I wondered, one day we may have some applications that can show us the meaning of a color, the semiotics of a sentence, a color, a cartoon, a symbol, a signal. So today we have this application that can show you how to do this, how to get the real meaning of a sentence or a word, and also to guess the meaning, or to guess the content that can accompany these sentences. So presentations, because we all work with teaching, we are all teachers, and we all want to provide our classrooms with much proactivity, much innovation. So we have some applications for giving presentations and with showcasing the development that we can have in our teaching classrooms. So number one, we have Quenvio. I tried this more than one time. Slides, AI, and Prezzo. Prezzo is different than Prezi. Okay, so Prezzo is a different one. I didn't try it, but I saw some reviews about it, but it's not working here in the Middle East, unfortunately. So if we're going to focus on the first, yeah, here we go, with the first application, which is Quenvio. Quenvio is a presentation application that can give you an experience which is pretty different than the presentation that you can have in PowerPoint or Google presentations. You can give the presentation itself a script, like what I'm doing right now. So I'm reading from the text itself, and I'm talking about the subject matter itself. However, this program or this software can turn a script into a video script, into a talking video. So you can see yourself talking, discussing, teaching a script that is already provided to the application. So you can choose your own avatar. Yeah, here, if you are a man, you can choose this smart man. If you are a pretty woman or a pretty lady, you can choose this one, a veiled woman or a veiled or an unveiled woman, according to your own preference. You can see yourself turn it into another person, discussing, reading the script. But the only no about this presentation application is that you need to provide it with a full text. So it will never have the ability to guess the meaning or to guess the other sentence, at least right now, but maybe in the future it can be much more developed. So this is the main idea concerning Quenvy. Quenvy turns your script, turns your own sentences, passages, your own presentation into a video one. So you do not have to be there to give a presentation. So if Nabil asked me to do this, I would use Quenvy, but I do not have Quenvy. So I was, I can be in another place, and there's an application token to Rowan or to Nabil as well. So we have some packages. We have I try to suggest some packages to focus on translating or to give translation and interpretation classrooms. So let's move to these packages. If you apply to a job, if you apply to a profession, teaching or giving presentations or whatever you're going to have, but mainly on teaching. So number one, you need to have a good CV, good curriculum vitae in order to give it or to submit it to the company itself or to any other provider. So this application, which is CV Login, it can design your own CV with an artificial intelligence, and you can see how beautiful and how pleasing these presentation or these models are. They can provide you with some examples, but it's not already there with me right now. So you can easily and for free log into CV Login, provide your own information, and you will not waste any more time concerning your choosing colors, choosing templates, serving the internet to the perfect, looking for the perfect model or the template. It has dozens and hundreds of templates that you can easily choose one of them, and it can choose itself according to your own preferences. Okay, so do not waste your time with the traditional or conventional CV writing templates. This is this is going to be much better right now. So let's move to another application, which is italki. You can listen and speak English all the time in italki, but the only problem with it is that you're not talking with a human being, you're talking to a machine, which a lot of people can be afraid of this, because you're going to provide information, sensitive information, confidential information to a machine. A lot of people would say, no, this is a machine that will not be harmful to me anytime, but you can see a lot of these information can be shared online to service providers. They can be sold to other companies. So and a little advice to my sisters and brothers here: do not give or do not share your own personal and sensitive information to any application. But this application is very important. You can listen to a lot of lessons, to a lot of news, to a lot of podcasts. You can also speak with a machine, or you can also assign your friend as an interlocutor, so you can listen and speak English all the time on italki, which is for free, at least according to my experience with it. Okay. When you teach translation, you can use an AI writer application. This is a very good one, because you go to write, review, proofread, and give marks based on this application. So you can give the application, share it with your students, and they can translate. You can give them the text in Arabic or in English, and they can translate it to another language. So you can receive the translation from them. You can review, proofread, you can give marks, you can put quizzes, you can put graduation projects on this application in order to give marks. And it's pretty easy to use, because it looks like a Microsoft Office application, but it's mainly based on artificial intelligence because it gives you some suggestions concerning the much better structure, grammatical structure of the sentence. And finally, we have an application that's called Socratic. Socratic is a famous application. You can download it from Play Store. It's pretty easy. You can upload your own material, assign tasks, and mark homeworks. It looks like a Moodle or a teaching platform online that you can upload your own assignments, your homework, examinations, tests, and everything. So you can make a profile for every single classroom that you have, for every single students that you have. So if you have dozens here in the university, I have like more than 300 students per class. So we have a lot of profiles that can be shared. So with only one touch, I can rearrange these profiles together. I can give marks to every single student. It's pretty easy and it's pretty fast. So mainly, this is this is the end of my presentation. This is the end of the subject matter that I wanted to discuss here with you. So thank you so much, Ron. Thank you so much, Nabil. Thank you so much to everybody to show an interest into attending our webinar. And I wish you get benefit from this. Thank you so much. And I'm really happy to be here. Hello, Ron.
Thank you, Mohammed. Could you quit sharing screens now so we can just have a little dialogue?
Yeah, of course. Here we go. I can here stop the share here. That's already stopped. Here we go.
Well, you said so many things that's so interesting, I have to say, because I'm just a big person on tech and integrating tech into teaching, especially for languages. But I wanted to ask you one question before I sort of kind of go over some other things that you talked about.
Of course.
And one of them is, and it's just a very direct question, and that is, do you believe that the translation method of teaching a foreign language, whether it be French, English, Spanish, whatever, that plays an important role in today's way of teaching, that we used to think of it as bad. So from what I got, am I wrong? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
Are you saying that this is okay? Is it okay to use the translation method to teach and learn a language?
Exactly. I totally believe with it. You can say that it can be some professors, some teachers can say that it's already archaic. It's an old and conventional way of teaching foreign language, but you can refer back to the way we used to apply these methodologies in our classrooms, and you can see the default in this. We use a lot of native language in our classrooms because I'm Egyptian. I can speak Arabic all the time in an English classroom, so I can teach English through Arabic. But this is a big mistake. So I'm lucky enough to give translation classrooms because this gives me space to use both English and Arabic at the same time. But concerning vocab, if I'm teaching vocabulary, especially in translation, I do not use the direct way of giving the meaning of a word. For example, a word like infrastructure. So this is a word that has like 2 or 3 syllables, that we have 4 syllables as well. So I do not give the students himself the direct meaning of infrastructure. So elicitation is the best way here. But an elicitation in both English and Arabic as well. So it can give me much more alternatives, not only one alternative. We have a correct alternative and a direct alternative in Arabic for the word infrastructure. However, elicitation is the only and the best way, in my opinion, in order to use this theory or methodology in teaching vocabulary. And teaching vocabulary is really, really a pivotal part of teaching translation and interpretation.
Definitely. While you're not really saying that, but I think you're going in that direction. So are you again, is it okay for a teacher in a language class to use the mother language of the students to help them to understand what the topic is about, or to understand maybe the task, or understand some of the problems?
Well, it really depends on the class itself. So it's an EFL class. I really do not advise on this way. But as I told you before, I'm a teacher of translation, so I can easily use it to my own interest. But in an EFL class or an ESL class, no, I don't think so. I mainly depend on elicitation, but only elicitation in English, not in Arabic. So teaching vocabulary, teaching grammar, whatever. So only elicitation. So never. I'm never using this method in an only English classroom.
Well, I have to say that I do use the translation method with videos to teach
Yeah.
language, but my language learners are advanced learners. They're advanced. And so translation is really important to them because they go to conferences and they're translating in their head, what somebody is saying in English to their mother language. So, using video, and I used a lot of YouTube video where I would use German because, I teach mostly Germans. I use, a German lecture or something that's a very difficult topic with a lot of difficult vocabulary. They listen to it in their free time, and then they just come back and they give me the sort of, I would say, loose translation of what it was about in the form of a summary, because this requires them to use vocabulary that they might not know, or they actually do know, but they don't know what it is in English. So that's getting them to use their dictionaries. And that takes us to what you said about using the apps that you suggested. I have to say that Interprify, that was a new one on me, definitely a new one. And I'm definitely going to use that one. But there's also DeepL and Lingui, which are very effective when you're using translation, and you got to get to know what that's all about. So
could you please tell us the first one?
Lingui and
Lingui.
DeepL. Yeah,
and
DeepL.
Okay,
Mohammed, I always write a post about our webinars, and I'm going to write a post on this on social media about what you talked about.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I took a lot of notes here. And Requil, that was a new one on me. Got to check that one out. Yeah,
well put.
But I would like to add that to what you said about some of these apps. Is I think it's extremely important, and I want to just connect some points here of what you talked about. I think it's extremely important for teachers to create a graphic organizer of all the technology that they know how to use, that they want to use in their classroom. I always have that on social media too as an example, because it's really important for us as teachers to see that they're just tools to help us teach. They're not, they shouldn't be there just because we want people to think we're using technology, but they need to be really useful to the teaching that we're going to do. So, and again, I'll add that one as too. So, you got to know your technology.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a very nice idea, really.
And I have to say that you talked about CV, you talked about a site called CV Login.
Yeah.
Which, I'm going to have to go there too. I didn't know existed. But it's important for us as teachers, if we consider ourselves a contemporary teacher, this is a really big thing with me. What is a contemporary teacher, especially after COVID and artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, all of these things that are happening right now. They're happening so fast and they're throwing at us. And in today's New York Times, there was an article about Samsung threatening Google with removing Google from their telephones and now going to use Bing chat, okay? Because to be honest with you, I think Bing is much better, but who knows what Google's going to come up with.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I wanted to lead to, and this is going to last thing I'm going to say about what you talked about and connecting some points here, is that it is important for teachers to always keep their CV up to date to show that they are a contemporary teacher, that they are using technology and in the ways that they're using it. And so this site that you recommended, I'm going to go there and see that, because we got to have a portfolio. I think we shouldn't really be thinking so much in the way of CVs. We should be thinking about our teacher portfolio. What does that look like? Because that's what people are going to really be looking at. Who are we?
Exactly.
What do we believe in? What's our teaching philosophy? How do we prove that? How do we use technology? All of that needs to be built into your, teacher portfolio. Which, you can put articles there, your lesson plans, how you use technology, pictures of how you did it. And, what about your LinkedIn side? Is that really reflecting, how contemporary you are as teachers? Because if we want really, especially a lot of freelance teachers here, if you want to really get a better foot in the door, you definitely need to create a portfolio. And that needs to be reflected on your LinkedIn side. It looks like we have an actual question that's coming from Dr. Nameen Ali or Al. Yeah. You want to get your voice on and let's address your question.
Good afternoon. It's not a question, actually, it's an intervention. I'm a teacher and curriculum designer, designing ESP courses for pilots and air traffic controllers. And I was using grammar translation method and comparative linguistics while I was teaching, because I actually noticed that Korean pilots and Deutsch people, also the German ones, they have some differences in their own languages. So I was asking them, how would you say this? If you want to convey a message, how would you say this in your own language? I found out that there are some purely, linguistic differences and problems that they are facing. Like there are some phonemes that Koreans cannot pronounce, and this is for safety would be like a disaster, because they cannot figure out what kind of phoneme, like you are conveying a message and it's very, very noisy, and you cannot figure out what the other person is saying. And also for Deutsch people, the German ones, they don't have present continuous or present perfect in their own language. They don't have this linguistic figure. I believe that there was an accident, and there was on the radio telephony the conversation going on, and the co-pilot who was responsible for communication, he was conveying the message saying, we are just running out of fuel. And he couldn't, convey the message that Mayday, that we have an emergency here. He was just saying it in this tone that it's just something like we can come over it. Like we are just running out of fuel. So it came up that it was a disaster just because this person didn't know that this difference in language would really convey a different message, and wouldn't be able to save their lives.
Yeah, well, that has a lot to do with decoding as well. That learning how to pronounce words correctly, and but if I understood you correctly, you're talking about the language of the air, of airplane pilots. So yes, I know quite a few people who teach those classes and have heard many, many different stories about that. But every group of people who are learning languages all have their little, nuances and things that have to be learned. That falls into English for special purposes. And definitely, we got to know what we're doing. And translation has a lot to do with that. I do speak fluent German, and so I understand what you're saying when it comes to the grammar part. So, yeah, but I also speak fluent Spanish, and there's also other problems there. So, but English is the language of shipping and also of commerce and of, the airline industry. So, people got to get their English right. Definitely. I agree with you. And thank you for your statement.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Let's turn that back over to Mohammed. Thank you very much for coming and being our guest today.
Thanks so much, Ron.
And definitely a lot of good things. I look forward to seeing the video just to catch up on some of the other little tips that you had there. Okay. So back to you, Mo. And he's frozen. Or are you there?
So for recommendation, am I here? Can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So thanks a lot for this wonderful discussion, Dr. Juan, and thanks a lot, Dr. Mohammed, for being with us here today, talking about this.
Thanks so much, Mo.
Important topic. Yeah, that's the first time someone talks about teaching, translation, interpretation, and this kind of topic. We're always focusing on methodologies, right? Teaching adults, young learners, and the latest trends in teaching and the EFL, ESL classrooms. But yeah, that's a wonderful topic to include in our recorded webinars on our YouTube channel, of course. Yeah, and everyone, let me tell you that the webinar is recorded on YouTube, so you can go there to our YouTube channel with the name Educast International and see the recording of this webinar as well as the previous ones. Thanks a lot again for everyone who attended today's webinar, and let me tell you that we have one more one to go tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the end of our event, Elevate Your Teaching Practice 2023. It was like a long journey of fun, right?
We've had a lot of great speakers and a lot of great topics. It's been very interesting for me to meet a lot of the people that I'll be meeting, hopefully, when I come to Egypt. And definitely some of the people who have done webinars here for us. Let me say that you probably will meet them because they will probably be doing workshops for us and webinars for us again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So guys, we're planning for some on-site events here in Cairo and Alexandria, of course, and Dr. Van Rijn is gonna come in both, not only in one event. I think in both, in 2 events or maybe more. We're also planning for some online events this year. We have, I think we have a lot. We still have a lot to show. We still have a lot to offer.
Well, now that you're saying
Van?
a lot, before we sign off here, Mo, could you just refresh everyone on some of the C1 English classes that we're going to be offering through Educast International for teacher? The target group is teachers who would like to reach a C1, even maybe C2 level of English. I think the better we are with our own language skilled in the classroom, the better we can serve the needs of our students, no matter if you're working in a state school, a university. So can you tell us a little bit more about those workshops and the 3 pillars that those workshops are based on?
Well, let me tell the people here first about our upcoming courses. We're planning to offer some language courses and methodology courses for teachers whose levels are, B2. Yeah, teachers, we want to help teachers whose level is B2 to advance their English language level to feel more comfortable in the classroom, to reach the C1 level, to apply for scholarships, and many other important things. I think we're planning for these courses to start next month, maybe, or sometime in June. Yeah, that's right. So it's so close. That's one thing.
It's getting very close. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, that's right. Of course,
well, I would like to say that the 3 pillars that these classes are based on. Well, first of all, it's about language. Okay, so it's about C1. The target language would be C1. The second pillar is methodology, because through the classes themselves, teachers can learn a lot of new methodologies on how to really teach. So, that's that added value that you get, not just from improving your language skills, but also, learning indirectly from being in the class as a participant about methodology. And the third one is technology, because they will be online. So you'll be able to use a lot of the technology that we're going to be teaching you in these courses. So, those are all the things that I think are important that make a contemporary, up-to-date online language class for teachers. It's about language, it's about methodology, and it's about technology. So, we invite those people here today. You'll be seeing more of that on social media as we get closer to those dates.
That's right. And we're also, planning for some on-site events. Again, there are a lot of talks everywhere on this, many conferences, here and there. But what we really care about is, doing workshops, because people and teachers really need to learn how to do things, not only listen and about things from different people. Yes, of course, listening is important, but knowing how to apply things, knowing how to put things into practice is much better and much more useful. So this is what we're aiming at, right, Dr. Ron? Yeah, that's why we're having some events, some workshops, inviting people from maybe Egypt, from outside Egypt, to do workshops. Dr. Ron Moran, of course, will be one of the presenters, teacher trainers at these workshops. So, of course, we're looking forward to having you there.
I'm already packing my bags and going to Morocco in 2 weeks. I'll be in Morocco for 1 week, teaching teachers there. I think there's over 100 teachers already signed up for those workshops that I'll be doing there. So I look forward to, getting to North Africa and working my way slowly to Egypt. Yeah, hopefully this fall. Okay, but definitely, I look forward to the online classes that we're going to be having, the C1 online classes for teachers. So Mo, that wraps up our webinar for today. I want to thank everybody for coming.
I'm not going to be. Yeah, that's right. Are you still there? Because I think my internet connection, is unstable. I wanted to tell the people that the courses won't be intensive, because we know that teachers are already busy. So yes, they can take them over a long period of time. They can learn, they can practice, and of course, we are more than happy to help the people with their language, as well as teaching methodology. Yeah. So thanks a lot, everyone, for coming forward, to today's webinar, and we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow in our last webinar, more than Elevate Your Teaching Practice. And the speaker for tomorrow will be talking about teaching, right? The what's, the how's, and the why's. Thanks, everyone, and see you tomorrow.